are going on to the next topic, and I think I wanted to. Did I write? I don't know what I wrote in the thumbnail. Was it James Bond woes?
Something like that.
This latest Bond movie, No Time to Die,
Mm-hmm.
and I have to tell you, when I heard that title, I think there's a joke about the Bond title blender at this point. Where you okay, time, die, no, yeah, just put all that in and mix it up. Doctor No,
Yeah.
Die Another Day. Well, I mean, I've seen these words and titles before.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
That's what I liked about Skyfall. At least that's something. It's original. I mean, at least piqued my interest. Okay, but
Casino Royale was actually a James Bond title from the novels.
oh, no one was better at titles than Ian Fleming. Come on,
right?
Ian Fleming knew how to write great titles. Moonraker.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't know what a Moonraker is, but I'm curious. Okay,
right? Exactly.
Yeah.
So I guess where do we start? We start with the fact that the movies really, there used to be a development hell. Now it's a release hell. So we have a movie that they can't figure out how to release it, and MGM has asked is looking to get it out on streaming somehow, and it's not getting sold.
Yeah. And I'm hearing all sorts of stories about this. I do think that, at least on the surface, when I heard this actually made a lot of sense to me for both Netflix and MGM, because I'm thinking Netflix, they had kind of a fiasco over the summer that we talked about last week, and MGM, the theaters are not open. We don't know when they're opening. We don't know if and when they open, if people are going to go like they used to.
Right.
And there is a lot of money sunk into this movie. I have down here $300 million budget. They had spent $66 million on marketing costs before we had the beer bug shutdown.
Yep.
Okay. So this is a bit of a problem here.
Because that's all lost revenue. That comes right off their bottom line. Done.
They had reshoots. I think they had costly reshoots because I think Daniel Craig got into an accident because he tends to do his own stunts.
Yeah.
I know that. Didn't they lose the director at some point early in production? Or was that before they started production? I thought they were having issues with the director.
I actually didn't know about that, but it doesn't surprise me.
Maybe it was the whole Guy Ritchie thing, and then he ceased to want to be part of the project. Maybe, I don't know if they had started filming.
I don't think anyone wants to be a part of the project anymore except Lashana Lynch.
Well, we'll get to that.
Yeah, yes. We'll get to her.
And MGM and Eon Productions considered releasing the film through paid video on demand option, kind of like they did with Mulan.
Yeah, which worked out really stellar for Disney, right?
Yes. And Midnight's Edge had a really good video on this.
They did drop the link on that. They break down, because there's very complicated rights related to James Bond. So there's a lot of moving pieces there, and Midnight's Edge is brilliant at being able to pick that stuff apart. But really, we are still in that. All of these big budget films, that's where the crux of it is. They're all big budget, and we're going into a paradigm where they're not going to be able to make their money off of it. If they can't release it in theaters, they're not going to make it back on streaming. They're not going to make it back on DVD. They have to be able to release it in theaters. And if they can't, they're effed. They're going to lose money. Plus, many of these movies, especially this James Bond film, they go into debt to make these films. And the people that they owe money to are not going to just sit around and wait for them. They got to pay that money back, whether they've released the movie or not. So there's a lot of pressure on them. So this is not new. I don't know why this is coming up. Well, actually, I take that back. I do know exactly why it's coming up. So we'll talk about that. This article from Bounding Into Comics, they're saying James Bond franchise kills itself. Lashana Lynch's character will inherit the 007 title. This actually came out like 6 months ago. People were talking.
This is old new,s and I don't know why it's being resuscitated.
Okay, so I will hit on that, and I'm also going to drop a link to Nerdrotic talking about it. had some excellent insights on it. This falls under the whole Hollywood still doesn't understand that this idea of any publicity is good publicity is not true. Bad publicity hurts your bottom line. Disney will tell you that. Okay, they know between Brie Larson and so many others that are really, really hurting their box office. Get Woke, Go Broke is actually holding up very, very well. So when you push something like this, and you start, hitting all the touchstones of the Me Too, this is a new era, female James Bond, all that kind of stuff, you lose your entire fan base. Your entire fan base is all the people who happen to like a masculine, Sean Connery-esque James Bond. And right on the cusp of Sean Connery passing, we're getting this news piece again. That is horrible timing, because I've already seen it on Twitter. The feminine, no, I better not use that phrase.
Yeah.
The jackbooted feminists.
You almost got there.
Yeah. Are coming out trying to cancel a dead actor, saying, toxic masculinity, blah, 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 blah.
I had my own theory, and I'm wondering, is this the only way to get like a more progressive media to talk about a Bond movie, is by trying to dial up this angle? Because that's the only thing that makes any sense to me.
Okay.
Like they would ignore
I am open to that theory. I
may be completely wrong. It's a random.
No, I'm not going to dismiss it. You may have something there, but my counterpoint to that would be, is it self-defeating though to do that? Is that the kind of publicity you want if it's going to hurt and drive away your fan base? You look at Star Wars that completely lost its fan base in favor of a new fan base that never arrived. They're doing the same thing with James Bond. You have your niche audience. Either you cater to them or you don't bother at all.
Yeah. And there is a built-in audience for Bond movies,
Yes.
and that's me. I mean, all of us in these communities, we have the things we like. One of my things was every couple of years going to see a Bond movie. I used to go see the Pierce Brosnan movies. People pick on his movies sometimes, but I thought they were fun. Okay, well, maybe
I'll tell. No.
Okay, yeah.
Wait a minute. I will support the Pierce Brosnan films, even if I didn't like the writing, because I liked Pierce Brosnan. He should have been the James Bond when they got Timothy Dalton. I hate the Timothy Dalton films.
Anyway, Auditor Dread makes the point, though. Why did they make Lashana Lynch so masculine? They did the same thing to Rose Tico. It's like the feminists are saying it's not strong to be feminine, so borrow traits from the boys. Hypocrites. I mean, I'm looking at her. I mean, she could be a Bond girl. She has a great face.
I just think, when I saw her first, I thought of Iman from whichever James Bond she was in. You remember?
Oh, Iman?
Yeah, wasn't she one of the Bond girls?
No, I don't think so. Maybe she was in a Mission Impossible. I don't know, but I'm trying to though.
I'm in. Yeah. Which?
I don't remember. Oh, someone mentions Denise Richards. Question mark. Wolfton mentions that. But basically, what I wanted to say though is that I had some good points about this. I have some nasty things written down here.
View to a Kill. Iman was in View to a Kill. There you go.
No.
Thank you, Netter.
Thinking of
was Grace Jones.
Grace Jones. Grace Jones. View to a Kill didn't work for me at all, but I thought, I don't know why this isn't working, because Grace Jones as a henchwoman, perfect, because
here's the thing. Okay, you want James Bond. No. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. You want 007 to be smooth, sophisticated, and sexy. Okay? That's what James Bond has to be. And if you're going to change Bond's gender, you need to be smooth and sophisticated and sexy, sultry. That's what it has to be. And if you're going to do this and you're just going to be an action character, I'm sorry, that's not James Bond. I don't need that. I can go watch Mission Impossible, or I can go watch Fast and the Furious for that.
Oh, it's funny. I made my last comment on here is the Mission Impossible movies are acting like better Bond movies than the Bond movies we're getting these days. But
well, and here's what I also want to ask. Is it just men that like classic James Bond? I know Netter happens to be a big James Bond fan. She really likes Sean Connery. She never seemed offended by it. She thought he was sexy. You know, I mean, I got to live with that. But I'd like to hear from some of the female audience members. What do you think? Do you want a cuckold James Bond who's, you know, marginalized and, you know, in favor of, you know, a masculine woman that doesn't really appeal to either men or women? I mean, is this good James Bond? Does this make him more the franchise more attractive to a new audience? I don't know.
I mean, I've made a point here. Like, I'm fine with her being a 00 agent. Okay.
Yeah.
I just think no one else should be 007. 007
Exactly.
has always been James Bond. It's not even that he's always been an English white male. He's just always been James Bond.
Right.
And you don't want to change that. And I feel like, and now this article turns into it. Now it's become about the fans attacking and abusing the actress because of her race and gender, which isn't what it is. But then it turns into that, and everybody ends up feeling bad at the end of the day. And this is trolling. Yep. And this is trolling the audience again. And I don't know how this is going to sell tickets. Okay?
Right. I don't, there is absolutely no upside to this. All you're doing is the people that are passionate about it are the ones that would, you know, pay to see your movie. You do things to purposely antagonize them. They're not going to show up, and you're left holding an empty sack at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That is not going to help you recoup your losses. And that's what it's going to be. They're going to lose money on this movie, and it's just a question of how much. They want to minimize their losses, and they're making all the decisions to maximize their losses, in my opinion.
Exactly.
Melissa Harris, thank you so much. No, I want a badass James Bond. There you go.
I have a comment here too. I felt this way, especially after coming out of Spectre. I'm tired of every time I go to a Bond movie, it's like I'm going to a funeral for the character.
Yeah.
I can tell the people behind the production, it feels like they're all embarrassed of James Bond at this point. Daniel Craig has, I think, been quoted saying, "I don't really feel like playing the character. Oh, he's a misogynist." He said these things. Why is he playing Bond at this point?
Right.
And now this is Bond coming out of retirement, and it's like, I don't want old man James Bond. James Bond should be younger. He should be in his 30s, 40s. I mean, I don't know, even 40s. I think 30s. He should be younger.
They blew it. They really blew it, because with Casino Royale, they were rebooting this series.
Yes.
And they had an opportunity, and I honestly, I don't remember who it was. Maybe it was Mr. H, maybe it was somebody else, who said that they really felt like with Casino Royale, they were going back to the original novel. And it's like, okay, maybe they're rebooting it by, you know, doing faithful adaptations. But by the time you got to the next movie, nope, that's not what they were doing. They've gone off completely somewhere else with this. Oh, Leia plus size. I love that. I like James Bond, strong, sexy, and badass, man. Period. I appreciate you saying that. I really, really do. That go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, between Leia plus size and Melissa Harris and Netter over here, I feel like, look, James Bond is not just for men. It's also for the women who want to be with him, you know?
That's the old expression. Women want him and men want to be him.
Right.